The internet's good.
I mean, it looks good. Of course. Be right back. Oh, really?
What's going on, good people? I think we're live right here. I'm having a little problems, but man, what's going on? Coming here to talk about answer questions for beginner wholesalers, man. As you come in, comment where you at, where you from. Go ahead and comment where you at, where you from. Let me know if you can hear me. Got to keep my tech going. I got a special guest today. What's up, A? Special guest.
Not that special.
No other than Mr.
You can say that, man. You can say
Mr.
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 Afghanistan.
Afghan to 100 grand.
What's going on, man? What's going on? I'm glad to be here. Hang out with my buddy and his posse and his crew.
What's going on? Had to bring Dad onto the live, man. This is all he do all day, 24/7 wholesaling, baby. That's what you
all day.
24/7 wholesaling, baby.
24/7.
24/7 wholesaling. So we here to answer any questions y'all got, man, and just talk about like beginner wholesale stuff. Talk about stuff we got going on, like in our wholesale business, like what's at the top of the talking order, So A says, yo, what's going on? What's up, A? How you doing? Jordan, man. Oh, Jordan, I gotta hit you up on IG, man. Gotta get you on the live to do a show. And Sarah is good to wholesale. Is it good, bad?
Is it good?
Zillow? Oh, y'all might get that going. Is it good to wholesale from Zillow, Thad?
Is it? Are you talking about going on the MLS and looking on Zillow and seeing? So, good is like a relative term, as Ariane Next Door likes to say, pretty much anything you do, if you do it consistently, you will find deals. So if you're doing MLS like every day, for the rest of the month, you might, find a deal. I mean, so if you do it consistently, I'll list some pros. One pro, you're not using any money to find these leads. This is all. I mean, maybe your internet, unless you might be at the library, you're not using any money to find these deals. You're not even using gas money. That's a pro. Have I ever done it? No. Do I know of anybody who's ever done it like personally? No. But I do. Unless, Barry, have you done it? I don't think you. No.
No.
But I do know one guy who almost got one, and this was just last month. The only thing that happened was that he sent in a offer for a property, and they counter. And by the time they counter, and he tried to put in another offer, they had like 8 different offers, and they were over asking. So he lost out, but that would have been a good deal, and he didn't spend any money. So I can see the pros of doing it. Like Byron says, whatever you choose to do, whether it be driving for dollars, mailers, cold calling, texting, raffles, anything.
Keep going.
Ringless voicemail, email, smoke signal. But whatever it is you decide to do, if you do it enough, you will find success. Now, I can't say that all, like you can walk to California, you can ride to California on a motorcycle, you can fly to California, you can, hitchhike to California.
Private jet to California. Which one you rather have? It's kind of, it kind of depends. It's like, can I get to California without a car? Yes, you can.
Yes, you can. It's going to take longer. It's going to take longer to get to California, but you can get to California without a car. So can you get your first deal with just on the MLS? I believe you can. It's going to take longer than some other people, maybe. but you can get there. So that's my long-winded answer. I don't know what you think,
It's
Byron.
like, it's almost the same. It's a good analogy. It's like, yeah, you can get to California on feet, but are you willing to endure? It's
Yeah, you
like,
go to the door.
like,
Yeah,
you know, you may be walking through the rain, you may be walking through,
yeah,
the 100-degree heat, it's like,
yeah. You gotta
and
be.
that's the thing. It's like, you may choose a free path, but that free path may put you through so much that you're like, I'm gonna give up, I'm gonna quit. It's like,
Yeah, yeah. You know, I could have just bought a bus ticket. If I could have just At
that.
that point, at that point, you could maybe even find a wholesaler, like any wholesaler, and say, "Hey, can I use your services and just piggyback and pay you a little bit of money? Can I pay you $25 just to send however many things and not spend your own money and save out?" Like that's like asking somebody, "Hey, can I give you a little bit of gas money to drive me?" To drive me like you might get there a little bit faster just by asking that wholesaler, "Hey, can I use your thing for like a week, and then after that I'll pay you, a certain amount of money and get started." I don't know, but yes, you can do it from MLS for free. I do believe you
Yeah,
can.
for free. But how much does it cost to get a flight from we in Atlanta to California?
Let's Google it real quick. Let me ATL to LA. Let me see.
How much is it gonna cost you?
Let me see real quick. Let's Team flights. Look, I
Yeah,
got
talking about
Lakeland.
Spirit now. Hey, Thad love to
Well,
fly
look,
Spirit.
I love Spirit. Live and die by, like, knock on live and die by Spirit, man. I love Spirit. I love Spirit. You gotta, you might need to work out before you go on a plane or something, just in case. But I love Spirit. So Los Angeles. Look, I'm still over here looking because
All right, so A says, I'm at work right now, man. I'll be quiet in the chat for a couple of minutes. I got you, A.
Just so you know, a nonstop right now on January 9th from Atlanta to Los Angeles, $172. $172.
Hey, that's not bad.
Oh, you can walk. You can walk for free.
Good walk.
But
you know,
$172 to get to Los Angeles. I don't know. I don't know which one you want to do, but you can walk. You can walk.
So Shanae Scott said, you have brave if you fly. Oh, you brave if you fly Spirit.
Yeah, yeah.
Shanae done popped up on our live.
We don't walk in fear. We don't walk in fear.
Oh man.
I think I got a
My
little.
wife then came in on my live, man. My wife came in on my live. Adrian gonna be popping in next. But yeah, man. So Dad is a brave guy flying Spirit. But my thing is, it's the same thing. It's like, okay, are you gonna try to do it the wholesaling free, or are you gonna pay $97 to get prop screen? You know what I'm saying? Or are you gonna pay the money it takes to skip trace? You're gonna take the money it takes to text or call people on a dollar. You see what I'm saying? It's almost like kind of the same kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Are or do you want to walk to your first deal, which may take you, longer, right? It may take you a long time, right? But some people probably going to be better at walking to California than other people. You know what I'm saying? So, nobody could tell you how long it would take you to get a deal on Zillow. You may daggum hit somebody and get a deal on Zillow today. You know what I'm saying? Or you may sit there for the next 10 years and never get a hit on Zillow, right? So you just, yes, you can get a deal on Zillow, but if I was advising, I would say, do things that speeds up the process. That way you don't suffer for so long before you get your first deal, right?
Agreed.
So
Yeah,
Jordan
she
says,
brave.
Yeah, Jordan says I had one that closed Friday, but we found out yesterday that the tenants burned down the house last week. The buyer's telling me to send the money back. Oh my God. Are you
burn down
kidding
the house.
me?
Did they burn down the house before it closed or after it closed?
Somebody had to have insurance, right?
Yeah, was it before or after it closed?
So Jordan, is it before you close or after you close? Did they burn down the house before or after closing? Because that would definitely matter. It's like, who had insurance on that property, right? Who had insurance on that property? So Rolex, my guy, Rolex said, investing in yourself is the key. Yeah, no doubt, man. Like that's what I say. You could try the freeway, but if you pay a little bit, like Rolex said, investing in yourself, that's what's going to produce the results, and it's going to produce it the fastest. You know what I'm saying? Not that we just want, deals to be flying so fast. Yeah, that's great, but realistically, you need to use proven strategies, right? Going hitting Zillow is not as proven to get a good wholesale deal as putting out bandit signs, as texting people, as calling people, as all the other different things that you could do to reach people, reach the masses fast, right? Jordan says it was before we closed.
Thank God. Whew. You should be good then. I mean, I know our contract has that line. Seller. Want me to
I
find
guess
it?
it kind of would depend on the contract, but
Yeah, it does depend on. But we
yeah,
have a line in ours.
the buyer wants the money back though.
But
They
why
should
they
do an
want the money
insurance
back?
claim. They shouldn't want the money back. They should want to do that insurance claim and probably getting more money.
Maybe they didn't have insurance. Maybe they just
Gotta
bought
have
cash.
insurance for that closing, man.
Maybe they paid cash and they said, I don't need insurance yet. The property is not vacant.
Or what if the seller didn't have insurance and the
The risk
property
of
burned down?
can I here we go. The risk of loss remain in the seller with the seller until closing. That's what we got. The risk
Yeah,
of loss will remain with the seller until closing. But hey, like until we close, the risk of this
I
house.
was saying he probably can't get his money back.
Yeah, so I mean,
He
hey,
probably can't get his money back.
be like, hey, we hadn't closed yet. The house burned down before we closed it.
Yeah, the buyer probably can't get his money back, especially if they didn't have insurance. Dude, that's some crazy stuff, man. Done over 100 deals, and I've never heard of anything like that.
I actually had a friend that happened to though, but I can't remember how it was resolved. It wasn't a wholesale deal, but it was a real estate deal, and the house did burn down. But I don't remember what happened. I don't remember.
So, but yeah, that's crazy. So Jordan says we just found out yesterday. Oh my God. Hope you ain't spent that money yet, man.
Too late.
I'm telling you, that money is gone. Remember, I closed with somebody that, and they had like an agent, and for some reason, the attorney's office sent me some money that should have went to the agent, and so I was like, I think that's the attorney's office fault, It's like,
I guess you're gonna have to sue him. Get your money back.
That money is gone. That money is gone, man. So Mark said, I feel you because I've been on that walk. Yeah, dude, get off that walk, man. It's like you see people walking to California from Georgia, and you telling them, hey man, the flights are only $100 and some. It's like, we're telling you, man, go get prop screen, go text people, the flight is only $100 and some. It's like, and then people say, nope. It's like, I want it all to be free. It's like, it's crazy, man, that people try to start doing this wholesale thing, and it don't pan out for them because, like Marcus said, trying to walk. It's like, you're doing it the hardest way possible, right? Maxwell would probably have a hard time trying to find a wholesale deal on Zillow. It's like, even the best of the best, Flip Man will have a hard time. Like Flip Man said, I ain't messing with nothing that's on Zillow, right? He would have a hard time trying to do a deal off Zillow. So why are you, without the experience that they got, without the name that they got, is trying to do a deal off Zillow? You know what I'm saying? It's like, not saying
but
you can't.
I still think she can do it. But
Yeah, you can do it. I agree. Remember, we actually contacted somebody who had their property on Zillow and did a deal.
yeah, we did.
We
Yeah,
could have contacted them off Zillow and did a deal.
yeah.
Right. So, and another key thing is having that buyer is another key thing. Now, what buyer is going to buy the property off Zillow is a good question. So your buyer is going to be pretty important in that situation. So Jordan said, the thing is, this is a really good buyer. We want to keep the relationship. So what do you think? That really good buyer and they want to keep the relationship? Do you get a buyer back their money, Thad? Do you get a buyer back their money?
Wait, did he say how much? Hey,
how much? How much is it, man?
Are we talking about like $50,000? Are we talking about like $1,000?
I think it's pretty big if I remember correctly. I think it's pretty big.
Because we can always make new friends.
You are crazy. JB says, what's going on, y'all? Not much, man. We here to help beginner wholesalers. And we're just talking about things that can help beginner wholesalers, man. That's what we're here to talk about that, talk about what we got going on, and answer y'all questions, man. So JB says, how y'all feel about the market right now? Thad, how do you feel about the market?
For buyers, for sellers, or for who? For wholesalers.
How you feel about
it? I think prices are going to be going down. I don't know if y'all were watching the Federal Reserve, but they did give some they did give some news about rates. They said that rates are going to be their new rate increases are going to be less than what they were increasing the last prior increases. So that should help home buyers who are buying properties, because hopefully their loan will be a lot like their payments, because your payments are based off the loan, so your payments will be less. So there will be more people buying properties, which could maybe help us out. The only reason I say that is because you can wholesale it in any market, but if the market, like last year when the market was really hot and people were buying so many properties, you could get an easy spread, because somebody would be like, oh, they think their house is worth here. Like, say if the market were to start popping in the next 3 months, if people think that it's not, it's an easy spread right there. It's an easy, 20 grand right now.
The thing is, buyers, like these people who buying a house like to live in or something like that, or even like investors is looking to refinance, their payments would be lower with the interest rate lowering down, right?
Yeah.
So they're willing to buy for more. Let's say somebody who could only afford a $300,000 house today, if the interest rates go down 2%, they may be able to buy $500,000 tomorrow.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So now that house that flipper is looking at, like, I don't know if I can do that deal. Now there's more people offering on his house because now they can afford more, right? So let's say if I was trying to sell property for $350,000, there's only so many people that can afford a $350,000 house. Well, you drop that interest rate down, now more people can afford it, and more people can afford it, right?
And like Byron said, oh,
go ahead, you got it.
No, but like you said, and if that flipper can sell his house for more money, then he can buy more houses. But if his house is sitting on the market and you say, hey, can you buy another house? He's like, hey, I already got like 3 houses on the market. I'm trying to sell those, so it gets into like a. And
if he can sell it for more, that means he can buy it from you for more, right? So if the more that the flipper can sell it for, the more that you can sell it for. And that creates deals, right? That creates deals. So, but anyway, so Jordan says, nah, he made $9K, right? Both me and my partner made $9K, so it was a total of $18K. That do you give the $18K?
Him and his partner made $9K. I don't know your relationship with your buyer, but um, if he's a good buyer, you probably can make more than that 18K back. That's
Yeah.
the one. That's you could probably make more than 18K in the future. And I don't know if y'all are some kind of friends or not. But if y'all are some kind of friends, I would probably give it back, and you can make that 18K back. In next month, the month after that, month after that, and then make 40, make 50, make 60. So I would probably say you should probably give it back. You don't have to though, but you should probably.
Oh man.
Hey, he's your boy, but
So
probably.
you haven't been up in here. Jordan did a deal. And the house burned down before closing, right? And I guess the seller didn't have insurance because the insurance should have transferred over. So they did. I'm guessing they didn't have insurance. The house burned down, so now the buyer want their money back. Now the crazy part is about to be a lawsuit out of crazy because pretty sure the seller, man, the seller ain't gonna want to get that money up. You know what I'm saying? The seller ain't gonna want to get that money up. You talk about Jordan not giving it back. What about the seller? Did they have insurance? It's like my biggest question. And man, that is crazy, dude. I would not want to be in the middle of that. I would just give my money back and just go sit down. It's like I just give my money back and get the
Yeah,
heck out of that situation, dude. I'm telling you right
yeah,
now because it's about to get crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's about to get crazy. So I would just get the money back.
yeah.
Definitely get the money back. So
But you don't have to. But you
you
probably
don't
should.
have to, you know, but I definitely would. You might have to. You might be forced to, but you don't have to voluntarily do it. So Jordan said I was sick after I found out. I bet you would. I think that was like his second deal. I think that was Jordan's second deal. That he had
Well, you
just
got
done his first deal, and then I think this was his second deal, and then this happened.
you got a 9K story to tell. Then you got 9K story to tell.
Oh man, that's crazy, dude. So that's crazy. So that's crazy. But what's the big story with us? The big story with us is we had one of our VAs, supposed to send out a contract, and they uh, they put the wrong email address down for the seller.
The seller put the wrong email address down.
The seller sent them the wrong email address, which you could see that it was like obviously misspelled, right? A word that they obviously put one too many L's. Like you could tell, you could have easily told. Like you have to be a robot. You're a robot.
A robot would have been able to tell. Misspelled.
No,
Autocorrect.
man,
Autocorrect. Autocorrect, man. No robot would have known.
Yeah, the robot would autocorrect, but they sent it out to the wrong person. Um, so, but when they sent it out to the wrong person, they never went back to check to see if the guy got it, and he texted us and said, "Hey, I didn't get it," and our VA never responded. You
Never
know,
responded.
that was tragic. We
He
always
texted
stay on
twice.
him, but always respond. And he sent 2 text messages, and they still never responded. So that's at the top of our order.
Heads gonna roll. Nah.
Heads are gonna roll. We
Yeah,
came
it's a
up with
learning
like a little
experience.
penalty system where it's like,
Yeah.
okay, if you do this, we take this much off of your income. You do that, just because we had so many egregious penalties, and we didn't want to just fire everybody. So it's like, came up with like a system to try to, monitor them without being so, making them log in and watching their screens and all that stuff. We just came up with a little penalty system. So that's kind of our top talking point. You got to stay on top of these
Yeah.
VAs, but at the end of the day, I think our VAs do at least our lead VA is like A1. If I had to rate her, if they said, hey, rate a VA 1 to 10, I think I would give her I would say if I thought about just how great a VA could get, I think I'd give Laura somewhere around 7 or 8. Because I don't think
That's
she's
fair.
reached her.
That's fair. That's fair.
I don't think she's reached her peak. I think she could
She hasn't
really,
reached.
yeah, she hadn't reached the peak yet. But I think she's definitely could. She went from like a 2 though. She was only like, calling and doing little stuff. We didn't. She was like
She was a cold caller. She
yeah,
got
she was a
hired.
regular coach. She was in the mailroom. She was just a person in the mailroom, and you didn't know the whole time that they had talent. It was
Right.
like,
That's
uh,
right.
so it's like we found somebody that was in the mailroom, and she came out, and now she's dominating. So she went from being like a 2 and has risen all the way up to like a 7, maybe inching toward that 8, because like she's putting people in a contract. Like she talked to this person,
Yeah.
she called them, she negotiated the price, everything, putting them on the contract, everything. So like gotta be pretty good to be able to. I haven't been involved in this at all. She's been handling it. But because she made a mistake,
But you got involved yesterday. You had to
yeah,
get
I had to get
involved.
involved. You know what I'm saying? So, but I think it's a beautiful thing. Thad knows that I think it's a beautiful thing for the VAs to be able to completely handle the situation. You know, you talk to the seller, you call the seller, you send out the contract, you get them money, handle everything. The only thing I need to know is my phone dings, wires in.
I don't know if you guys know, but Byron is big on systems. Like he's a systems king. If
Yeah,
y'all
I
want
don't know
to
about
learn how to, I don't know, man. He's big on systems. So if y'all want to get y'all a system, and how your trucks auto driving to Los Angeles, and you're not in the truck, self-driving trucks, you might want to hook up with Byron and let him, fill you in on how to do it.
I don't know, man. I love VAs to be able to do it. I think they can do anything. I think they can do anything. Just have to teach them and give them time. So Jordan said, A said, dang, Jordan, shaking my head, bro. Yeah, dude, that's rough. So he said, how many leads did you skip trace on that first deal you got? Jordan, how many leads you skip trace on that first deal? We're going to get Jordan on, man. Do you have a manager VA watching over them?
That
Yes,
was
the
the man.
manager VA is the one who screwed it up. We ain't
Yeah.
even talking about the regular VA. The regular
Uh-huh.
VA, we expect them to make mistakes. We talking about, the overseer VA.
Yeah, we
She
just ain't.
she let it slide by her.
Yeah, Byron
So
was the safety. It
yeah,
wasn't past the defensive lineman. She
I'll
was
tell
a linebacker. Byron was the safety, the last person to save this
I'll
deal.
tell
Byron
you,
come
man.
out there, boom.
I'll tell you. Had to make the tackle at the goal line, man. It's
What do you call them? Dropped assignments? Like dropped assignments.
yeah,
But
dude.
yeah, Byron saved the deal.
Oh man, it was bad. It's like somebody's begging you for an offer. They're like, "Hey, I don't see it. Did y'all send it? I didn't get it." Somebody's asking, "Please take my house." Over here, it's like you got to, make sure that you give them what they're looking for. So, but anyways, we still keep high spirits. Um,
And the guy's still talking to you.
The
He's
guy's still talking to us, which is a good thing. You will get situations where they'll stop talking to you, when you make mistakes like that. And if they would have stopped talking to us now, that's when it becomes egregious. It becomes egregious. Right? When they stop talking to us, it becomes egregious. But yeah, man, that's kind of the top talking point, as far as what we got going on. So Jordan says, "What's up, man? I had a lot of deals that fell through before the first one, but it was a 25K property skip trace. Ooh, skip trace 25. Hey, that's the way to do it, though, man. It's all about numbers, man. It's all about numbers. The more you skip trace, the more deals you start to do. And we saw the same thing. If you ask that, he's responsible for skip tracing more leads to get more deals. He wanted to skip trace. That is the go big guy. He won't go big. But I'm the go small guy. I'm the caution.
Yeah,
I want to drive 100 miles an hour. I'm telling that, hey, just slow down a little bit. I'm going with caution.
what's
Right?
that? Slow down, you're moving too fast.
Yeah, I got to hear it from somebody else. And they're right there.
Yeah. That's how you operate. That's how you operate.
Thad's like, oh, let's text a ton of people. I'm like, no, Thad, no. I just want the messages to go through. And then I listened to a podcast where this guy was talking about how he was sending out so many text messages, and then somebody else.
Oh, you telling that story? You gonna tell that story?
Yeah.
Oh, the guys, he was giving me a hard
we gotta text more people.
He's giving me a hard time, guys. He was beating me up, making me feel bad. He's like, I just want it to work. Don't mess it up.
Thad was kind of new. Thad was kind of new to what I was doing. And, I had it rolling a little bit. I was making a little money. And Thad was kind of new to what I was doing. And he was like, yeah, it takes more people, man. We got to get the numbers up. Thad was looking at building an empire. Like, he wanted to go all over the country. And I was like, dude, I just want the messages that actually reach the sellers, because our deliverability rate went down because we was texting
deliverability rate went down. Yeah.
And I was like, I just want the messages to get there. It's like, we can't do a deal if we're not talking to people.
Well, I mean, our account said like we had like 2,000 messages, like was the limit. And I was like, we're only hitting like 600 a day or something. I was like, but it says we can hit 2,000. Like, I'm like, why would it say 2,000 is the limit if we don't even that must mean we can do 2,000. But yeah, our deliverability rate went really. I mean, it might have been the teens or the 20s or something. It was kind of rough. But then we made more templates. We bought more phone numbers.
We switched to launch control.
Yeah, we switched to launch control.
That was the big
but before that, you bought more numbers. From that.
Yeah.
It's a dollar number. It was a dollar number, and we wrote more templates, and we might have got it to like
figure it out
50, 60. Might have got like 50, 60, 70%, and then we switched to launch control.
Yeah, Thad wrote a ton of templates, man, and he was up, listening to music, getting this
like ABC.
But yeah, man. So, man, Thad wanted to text a ton of people, man, and I was like, dude, I just want to reach the people. But then I listened to I think it was
hear from somebody else. He's like my wife. Yeah. You got to hear from somebody else.
I had to hear from somebody else, man. So I heard a guy on like Steve Train podcast. He was saying that he was texting like 25,000 people a day or so like that. I was like, oh my God, we just need to text more people. And then I went to Florida. I went to Keith Everett training around the same time. He was like, he just talked to more people. He was just saying he talked to more people than I have. I was like, oh my God, we got to talk to more people. And then I went to Florida and done the same thing. And while I was in Florida, I was like, that's it. We got to talk to more people. I went out and bought a laptop in Jacksonville. Went and bought a laptop at Best Buy. Took it back to the hotel and start skip tracing more people.
I didn't even know that story. I didn't know that.
I went to Best Buy while we was on vacation. I went to Best Buy. I was like, I can't wait to get home to do this on my computer. I'm gonna go get a laptop and buy it so I can go ahead and get going.
He said, I gotta buy my tickets. I can't be walking, man. I gotta buy my tickets, man.
So, dude, I got to get going. There's no way. So I went and I did that. And man, ever since then, it was like just pull the list and skip trace them. Pull them and skip trace them. And Jordan pulling that 25,000. And he ended up making his first deal. Well, he got 2 deals, right? But like, how much it costs to skip trace 25,000 leads? That how much you think it costs?
Were you using prop stream, lead Sherper? What? How many?
I mean, just say lead Sherper. Worst case scenario is lead Sherper, right?
Lead Sherper 20 with like $5,000.
Yeah, around $5,000.
Yeah, like about $5,000.
But
That's serious.
Yeah, you gotta be serious to spend $5,000.
Is Jordan in the fold? Is he one of your?
Look like it's about $3,000.
Really?
Yeah, $3,750. Let me do it again.
What'd you do price per? What was the price for his skip trace?
15 cents. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
Sherper is actually 12 cents.
Yeah, it might be like 12. It might be like
so 25,000 times 0.12, right? It's $3,000.
$3,000.
Which is not bad. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, $3,000 for 25,000 leads, and you get 2 deals. You know, one of them get y'all 18K. That'll work.
Is Jordan in your course?
No, Jordan just shows up every day here.
Okay, but Jordan's in the church, huh? He said,
yeah, Jordan showed up to church every day.
On the front row, yeah.
I'm telling you, he on the front row.
You gotta ask
him questions, raising his hands.
Yeah, make him an usher or something, man.
Oh, man.
Appreciate your commitment.
You are stupid, man. So A says Thad was trying to kick that W2 to the side quick. Well, Thad actually left Afghanistan.
Yeah.
You know, we did an interview with Thad a long time ago, almost a year ago.
Yeah, that was a while back.
Left Afghanistan.
But Byron, so just how like I was trying to get Byron to text more people, Byron was trying to get me to leave Afghanistan. Yep. But in this case, I was Byron, and Byron say, "Hey, I think I got something." I'm like, what you got, man? What you talking about?
You've been telling me this for years.
Yeah.
You sound like Noah.
I think there's this wholesaling thing, and I was like, yeah, I heard about it before. You know, I used to listen to Antonio Edwards like 8 years ago or something. And I was like, I kind of heard about it, but I don't know, man. I couldn't really figure it out.
You told me about Antonio Edwards. And I was like,
yeah. It's a circle, guys. It's a circle. It just goes around and around, you know. But I was like, I never went to see him in person, though. I just watched his YouTube videos. But I was like, I couldn't really get to work. And at the time, like, I was making like, maybe like $16,000 a month. You know, most of it was like not taxable income, you know. I'm like, this is, you want me to quit my job? What are you talking about? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? But fortunately for all of us, I think, Byron, he sent me a check. He started sending me screenshots of all these checks all the time. So he sent me a check, and then COVID happened, and I got stuck out there for a while. My wife wasn't feeling it, so. But he sent me the checks. The checks was a big part. I mean, them checks almost had people in my office wholesaling. If we could get our internet like good enough, like people, like I got a train over here sometimes, but there you might have incoming. I'm sorry, I gotta go. I'll call you right back. Right,
I remember being at school. I remember being at school calling people off the school phone to do a deal. And then like they would come over the intercom for like a student or something. Like it'll be like a beep. You know they finna go. I'll hang up the phone real quick. It's like I think we lost connection, man. And call her right back so that they didn't know I was at the school. One seller called the school back.
What'd you do, man? What'd you do?
Well, they didn't get to me, but they did call the school back. Yeah, it's crazy. It was like, hey, your number came up as Paul Guy High School. It was like, yeah. I was like, I don't know, man. Keep doing that, But yeah, man, it was crazy. Teaching the wholesaler, man, it was crazy. So Wu Tang says Byron laugh is contagious.
Yeah,
So that's a good. That get me laughing, man. You know
yeah.
that'll get you laughing. So A says, laughing my butt off. What did the teacher say when you found out that you was doing it? Well, the thing is, like they because I was a guy that was always doing stuff. Like I was doing Instacart. Before I started wholesaling, I was delivering pizzas. I was doing Papa John's. So it's like, to be wholesaler, they was like, oh, okay, this guy, like everybody else at the job, you know how people are at your job, they're like, oh, I'm gonna do this, or oh, I'm gonna do that, or I'm pretty sure that in the military, everybody talks about when I get home, I'm gonna do when I get home. Everybody talk about what they gonna do when they get home. You know what I'm saying? And most of them ain't gonna do nothing. It's like, so just like that in teaching, everybody talking about what they got. Oh, I got this. Oh, I'm gonna do that. Everybody talking, right? So nobody paying me no attention. Do I look like a guy that can go out here and do this kind of stuff and make tons of money? And no, I don't. So
Yeah,
nobody paying
you
me
do.
attention.
Yeah, you do. He always say that. Yeah, he do.
Until I walked away. That's when everybody was like, "Oh dang!" It's like this is for real. They was even still asking me, "Are you coming back?" No, man, I'm done. I'm done. So you know. But anyway, so Wu says, "Is it better to have a partner or just do it on your own?" What you think that?
It depends on everybody's situation, if you want to have a partner or not. There's a lot of, like everything is pros and cons. I tell a lot of new wholesalers though that it's really good to have a partner. Like there's a lot of benefits in having a partner. Like the girl, I was who was I can't remember her name, but who asked about just looking on the MLS. If she had a partner, maybe she could, and her and her partner could get the costs, down.
That was
And
fair.
and say you have a job, if you have a job or you have a family or something, maybe your partner can call somebody when you're busy, and maybe you can, y'all can cover each other's back. Like say you got to go on vacation. I went to Washington DC, and Byron and Byron's brother. I don't know if y'all seen Byron's brother or not, but Byron's brother and them, they were like closing deals and stuff for me. Like, I didn't have to be like, my whole operation is gonna like crash, while I'm gone. And all the VAs weren't calling me, they were calling Byron and Preston and stuff. So that was good. So if you had a partner and say you go somewhere, your partner will be able to hopefully hold it down. you know there's different kinds of agreements. Like some people just do like they might say we're gonna do 50-50. You do dispo and I do acquisitions. You know, so they do the acquisitions, they find buyers, and you find the sellers, and y'all list together. It's like maybe y'all put your money in together, or y'all don't even have to do that. Y'all can just share costs on platforms, prop streams, on that kind of stuff, because you get it cheaper in bulk.
Yeah,
But just make sure that y'all have like a closely, at least y'all do business the same, or y'all have an aligned kind of way of thinking, or right out, because you don't want y'all to be like arguing over you're supposed to do this.
yeah,
Like if you're married to somebody, if you
yeah.
marry somebody and they say
You
you're
gotta
supposed to take
write
out the trash,
everything down.
you're supposed to take out the trash on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, and you're supposed to vacuum clean. So make sure that whoever's supposed to vacuum clean is gonna vacuum clean. Whoever's supposed to take out the trash gonna take out the trash. Just make sure if you're doing dispos and he's doing acquisitions, then just make. But I think is really good, especially for somebody starting out, because there's gonna be a lot of times where like you might not have your VAs trained well enough to look at lunch control, you know, like they life depend on it.
Yeah,
But when y'all both trying to make money, y'all both gonna be looking at lunch control or looking at whatever, prop stream or lead Sherpa, or whatever,
REI reply, whatever.
reply batch leads, whatever. But they gonna be looking at it like because VAs don't do that. They don't treat your stuff like it's theirs. They treat it like it's yours.
Yeah.
But if you had a partner, they'll treat it more like it's theirs, and so there's a lot of different kinds of agreements. Like me and Byron like normally try to like do different areas and stuff. But y'all could do the same areas and dispo acquisitions or however y'all want to do it. So I think it's a good idea. What you think,
Yeah, I think
Brian?
it's just like clear expectations is the key, and then writing everything down, and then just like you got to be. I think somebody said this about marriage. It's like I can get sick of my wife and want to get out of here,
Uh-huh.
but she can't get sick of me and want to get out of here at the same time. You know what I'm saying? It's okay for you to get sick of one another, but you can't get sick of each other at the same time.
Uh-huh.
You both
Yeah.
get sick of each other at the same time, and now you got problems. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
And you
this
got
time when
some
Thad's mad at me, but
problems.
I'm not mad at him. I still want to be with you. This time when I'm
When
mad at
Darren's mad at me,
Thad's
yeah.
not mad at me. He still want to be with me. But it's like we can't get sick of each other at the same time. So
Yeah.
there's some type of grace that you gotta have. Like you have to understand that business is more important than any other thing. Keeping the business going is more important than me having it my way or me getting an extra 10 grand or 20 grand or whatever many grand. It's more important that the business keep going, right? That's the most important thing. Let's keep this business going. Not that you should get hit over the head or taken to the slaughters, but most time people get stirred up over little stuff, when the most important thing is keep the business going. Now, if somebody doing something that's non-negotiable, then you may need to move on. And there's nothing wrong with moving on.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with
People,
moving on. Sometimes it's always time to move on and do something else. But like I've moved on. Like there's people that I've worked with, and it's like this ain't working out. I need to move on, and I did. You moved on. So it's all about
shout out to first partners, like, first
you
wife, shout out to the first partners.
because I was a teacher, I had to have like people to help me because like I was in the classroom all the time, so it's like I needed people to help me do stuff, right? But I'm so generous. I'm super generous with like giving out stuff and wanting other people to make money. Like I'm just so generous. At least Dad would say so. I would give away money quick, right? It's like,
He was.
oh, you threw the trash out? Oh, I give you 50% of whatever I got. It's like,
He does. He does extremes though. He's extreme. He's extreme. Yeah. It's all or nothing. It's all or nothing. In the middle. Be in the middle.
But anyway, so I would say though, squatting up, I think it would be the biggest thing. It's like, you don't necessarily have a dead even partnership. I can have my own business, Thad can have his own business, and we just kind of share some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like we may have different software that I pay for, and there may be different software that Thad pay for. But it's like I'm gonna let him use my stuff. He gonna let me use his stuff. Because if we share with each other, now we both have a full system, right? Yeah. So like I may have a VA, he may have a VA, but if we share the VAs, we both have two, right? It's like, but I'm only paying for one, but I'm getting the service of two, right? Yeah. So like that's what I'm talking about, squadding up like that. That cuts your costs in half, right? So I think that's one big thing because like, if you buy prop screen, are you really gonna skip trace and pull 10,000 people every month? You probably not at the beginning, right? But if you get with somebody else and say, okay, you got 5,000, I got 5,000, right? You probably won't even pull and skip trace on 5,000 because how much is that gonna cost? That how much you think that costs? What? 500 bucks? I don't know. 300 bucks? I don't know. But it's gonna cost you. Let's see. 5,000 times 0.12, 600 bucks. So it costs you about 600 bucks. You really gonna spend 600 bucks on skip tracing when you very first get started? Maybe, right? But you're not gonna do a lot more than that, probably. So you got, let's say you spend 50 bucks on prop screen because you're sharing it, 600 bucks on on skip tracing them for 5,000. Let's say you get launch control, you're able to split that too, right? So that's the thing. You just split stuff, and then both of y'all got a whole system, right?
I'm getting nervous. I'm looking at launch control real quick. I'm like, let me.
You gotta say launch control. Gotta make sure that somebody watching the store.
Watching the store, I get
Watching the
paranoid.
store.
Maybe I'm like.
So Anita said, Byron always on the grind, no doubt, man. I think she's talking about when I was teaching and on the phones at the school, getting stuff done, telling kids not to distract me while I'm doing deals. Do you comp properties? Dad, do you comp properties?
At first, I was dealing with a lot of like iBuyers, and with them, you really don't have to comp properties at all because they have their own underwriters, and you just tell them what they want, what you want. They'll either counter or accept it. So no, I have a few smaller buyers in like smaller markets, like just regular buyers. I don't comp it for them either. They already know at the top of their head, and it's like you work with those people so much that I already know by eyeballing it what they're going to say. But of course, that's like a relationship that we've been cultivating for a long time.
Yeah, but from the beginning, did you ever comp properties?
No.
Yeah.
I did not.
Like, dude, I'm sending you this property. You tell me how much you're gonna pay.
Yeah, I did not. I have run into a few situations where people have asked me for comps, but it's like if they already buying in the market, they don't need my comps, and they know how much they want to buy it for. Like, they know how much they want to buy it for. The only time I kind of mess with comps now is that I have been looking at what some buyers have been buying, like as far as the ARV, like the percentage. So that means I have to do some comps to figure out the ARV. And then I'm like, okay, they're buying at like 70% or 80%. So I might do some comps and then do times 0.8 or times 0.7 and say, okay, they're buying at that. But I don't do that often, but I have had to do it a few times. Probably, a few times, but I don't do it often.
Yeah.
What you think, Byron?
I think the same thing, man. Build relationship with buyers. And I think that's what you did, with some of the buyers that you have that are not even like big scale buyers. It's like you build a relationship with them to the point where it's like you just send them over the property. You know what I'm saying? And they tell you what they got. That's what I'm saying. It wasn't even about the fact that you worked together so many times. It's just the fact that you talk to them and you start to build a relationship with them. And it's like, okay, I'm just going to send you a property. I don't have to have an asking price. You know what I'm saying? It's like, just send them the property and they'll tell you what they can pay. And then now it's up to you to go to the seller and make it work.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the big things. So A says, is North Carolina still your favorite market, Thad? I'm located in Charlotte, doing my marketing on the outskirts of Greensboro, High Point. And
okay, the Tri-Cities, man. The Tri-Cities.
Yeah, man.
Okay, yeah.
Salem, I think that's what
North Carolina. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm actually hitting up North Carolina today, so we might be, battling.
We'll see.
The dust settles at the end of the day. We'll see what happens. But I have been hitting a lot of Florida lately. I've been hitting South Georgia and Florida for probably like the past couple of weeks, and I just kind of pivoted back towards North Carolina, maybe like a week ago. But the past couple of weeks, it's been more like Orlando, Tampa, and then South Georgia. I've been doing a lot of South Georgia things lately. It's only because between my local buyers and the iBuyers, trying to find a balance. I don't know, how Byron, how you balance? You do more, what's your balance, local or I?
First of all, I think North Carolina is the best thing for that, right?
Oh, okay, this guy.
Just because he went to North Carolina and just went nuts,
I did.
So I think that he should have just I think if he focuses in on North Carolina, I think it's hot. I think North Carolina is still hot.
Well, we
You
hitting
know,
it. We hitting it right now. They
yeah,
hitting
yeah.
it. They
Bass
hitting
hitting
it
it
right
right now.
now. Yeah.
Hitting it right now. So don't even try them.
Don't try my temples.
but
Yeah.
uh, but yeah, that is hitting North Carolina. But yeah, I think North Carolina is good for him. I always say like look back at your best deals and where you done your most deals and try to repeat that. Right? Try to repeat your best deals, and deals that you've done most frequently. Try to recreate that. Right?
Yeah.
And what I do is like because I have like local buyers and big buyers in the same area. I try
Yeah.
to target
His are in the same
both of them
area.
will buy. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, where will both of these people buy? So if I can't get one, I get the other. You know what I'm saying? So now I got different people at play. I can send it over here. I can send it over there. I could do this. I could do that. I have different options, right? So when the property comes up, now I got different options of different people that do different stuff. Like I had a property that I tried to get to my flipper. Flipper wouldn't take it. I ended up getting the hedge fund to buy it. Bam, still got a deal done. So it's like if you could target an area where both kinds of people are in play, local, you got agents with buyers, you got flippers, and you got hedge funds. Bam, there you go. Now you're working with something. That's what I think.
Yeah. But I've been hitting that South Georgia lately.
Yeah,
Well, well,
I think,
not even, well, just not the whole state. Just like two cities lately.
yeah.
And
He got some buyers down there that he messed with. They do deals, so that's why he's hitting South Georgia. He's not just randomly going.
no, I'm not just randomly. And it's really only I say South Georgia because like this, it's really just like two small cities out of like I don't know 50, 60 towns or something. So, but yeah, just two small cities. But yeah, because my one of the guys I work with all the time, even the guy who bought my first house, he's down there. So like he always buys. He's so reliable.
Yeah,
So I gotta keep him fed. Can't have
I
him out
gotta
here
keep
looking.
feeding
Can't have
him.
him out here looking for other wholesalers. To fulfill his needs. But so I gotta keep him fed and stuff like that. But yeah,
No
I like North Carolina.
So Anita says, "What about when you're making the offer to the seller? Do you talk to the buyer first to see how much they will pay before you make an offer?"
You
Yeah,
want
I'm
to go?
talking about you,
Oh,
Thad.
I thought you might want to tell her. Do I make the offer first? It depends on the situation. Some of these, like the ones in that small city where I already know what he's gonna offer, I can pretty much I'll still might send it to him, but if he don't respond to me in like oh, okay. If he doesn't respond to me in like 30 minutes, then I I will probably just make an offer. If it's a bigger company like iBuyer hedge fund, I will still probably send them an offer, but I will still be sending it to those hedge funds or whatever to get an official offer, and then if I need to, I'll come back to the seller and say, this is what we thought we could do this, but this is what we can do. So I guess I just send them my own offers.
Yeah,
You
it
know,
kind of depends on the timing of the situation. You know what I'm saying? Because you're in conversation with the seller. It's kind of hard to leave that conversation completely hanging,
yeah,
right? So it's like, as soon as I see that they're really interested, a lot of times I go ahead and get it over to a buyer and be like, hey, what you think about this? To try to get an idea of a number before I say a number. You know what I'm saying? Because once you put that number in that seller head, you know, it's hard for them to let it go. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's like, once you
yeah,
throw that number out there and put it in their head, they're like, ooh, I think I can get that. It's hard to pull them back down to
yeah.
earth, baby.
Yeah, I give
So
mine about 30 minutes.
yeah, so you aim low. I would say aim low, on the seller, but I try to get it over to the buyer first before I give them a verbal offer, or I would just tell them, first I'm trying to get an offer out of them, right? But sometimes I don't try to give them a solid number. I'll tell them like, hey, I think our investors would be around this amount, right?
Yeah.
You know, I may try to do that. So it's different. Like you start filling the seller out to the point where you feel like, man, I gotta give them a straight number, because they want something straight ahead. And sometimes you'll be able to feel to the point where you could be like, we might be around this much. You just like filling the seller out to understand exactly how you. So we don't do it the exact same way every time. But I would say if we gave you one way to do it, we would just, because we're familiar with our buyers, we really lowball them below what we think our buyers would be at. So, if I got a property and I think that they would buy it at 180, I'm going to lowball them to 160. If I think my buyer would buy it at 180, I'm going to say, 160, right? So if I look at a deal, I'm like, I think it'd be a good wholesale deal at 170. I'm going to lowball them at 150 and see what they say. And there's nothing wrong with getting them a lower price because they say, oh no. Then you say, oh, well, what's the best? What's close you can get to that? Or what's the best you can get to it? Or like Thad like to do, you tell them 150 and they say, oh no, that 155.
Yeah.
He'll come up like $5,000.
It's funny because when I do that, a lot of times they'll say, no, I won't. 170. Thank you.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
This
They'll
is
tell
exactly
you
what I
like
want.
once you start saying numbers and stuff, it's like they'll just start
No, I
telling
want to take this. So that's
you.
exactly what I wanted you to do anyway. So then once they do that, then you hit them with the, can we meet at the middle?
Yeah.
So you got to cut that again.
Oh man, yeah, I
Yeah.
remember always telling Thad, it's like, dude, we got a deal. Like we would know that the buyer's gonna buy. Like let's say if it was like the seller wanted 170, the buyer already said that they'll do 200. Thad would still tell that person, hey, can we meet in the middle? It's like Thad, the person said 170, they take it. Send them the contract, man. It's like, dude, what are you doing? It's like,
Buyer likes it. Hogs get slaughtered. That's what he said.
hogs get slaughtered, dude. Hogs get slaughtered. Send the contract, man. Hogs get slaughtered. Pigs
Yeah.
get fed, but hogs get slaughtered. It's like,
Pigs get fed.
yeah, pigs get fed, but hogs get slaughtered.
What's another $2,500, Scott? $2,500.
And Jordan, man, I don't know if you're still in here, but on Thad's like first little deal that he almost had, he had to sell it under contract, and he was gonna make like 60 grand or something like that. And
The first deal?
yeah, in North Carolina.
No, my first deal was in.
No, I'm saying the first deal you almost had
Oh, okay.
in North Carolina. You was gonna make like 60 grand, and they came back and it was like, oh no, what did they say? They found another buyer or something.
Yeah, they signed, and then they told me from the beach, like they wouldn't answer. Cause I kept asking when we could inspect the property, and then they came back and they said, sorry, Open Door offered us like $65,000 more than you, and we decided to take their offer because when they offer, I didn't even cut it. Like Byron was saying, I didn't even cut it. I just offered them exactly what they asked for, and they asked for 300. I offered you 300, and then Open Door came back in at 365, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to Open Door." I said, "Hey, you didn't even give me a chance to counter."
They had signed. They signed this contract. I was like, oh my God, dude, you about to make 60 grand on your first deal.
Second deal.
Yeah. Second deal, 60 grand.
Yeah.
So that would have been crazy. But either way, in North Carolina, he still went up there and did 50K deals, big stuff, and
I did 50K deal in Florida.
50K deal in Florida, big time, man.
Yeah, 50K deal in Florida.
Out there crushing them, man. So best advice you can give for finding buyers, because I'm walking in Michigan. So you walking in the cold, the snow, yeah, slipping on ice. Go ahead, Dad. best advice you give them
Best
for finding
advice.
buyers?
So I guess you got zero budget. Is you got $50 budget? You got like there's no budget, zero budget.
Nah, you gotta have something, man. You gotta have something.
$50 budget. I say like me and Byron was saying, if you team up with somebody, you guys can share costs and you can hopefully you at least got like 150, and y'all can, split prop stream because prop stream,
How do you find buyers though? You want to find
Oh,
buyers.
sorry. My bad. I'm not even answering the question. How to find buyers? Okay, well, you can call agents. Real estate agents are a great resource for finding buyers. Now, a lot of them hate wholesalers, so maybe sometimes I ask people like I might test them. I say, "Hey, are you a listing agent?" And they're gonna say, "Oh, I'm gonna make some money." So they're gonna text me back. Once they text me back, I get them on the phone. But hey, I was just seeing, if you're a listing agent, and do you happen to have any, on another conversation, do you happen to have any buyers who might be interested in properties? Because I might have some people that might want to list, and I might have some people that might want to buy. That kind of gives them like a reason to talk to you because they might make some money you know, you know, because a lot of times if you just tell them, "Hey, I'm a wholesaler," blah blah blah, blah click, you know,
Yeah.
or they're gonna give you, they're not going. It's gonna be hard to get credibility. But if you throw out the, "Hey, are you a listing agent?" first, then they kind of want to talk to you. Another way, like if while I was talking about prop stream, I remember I was like, "Why did I talk about prop stream?" Because you can see who bought properties for cash on prop stream. That's why I said to be your budget. But if you ain't got no money and you walking, then But if you had prop stream, you can go to cash buyers and
He
see like,
walking, but he got $50 in his pocket. He got $100 in his pocket, but he's walking.
yeah, here come the train, here come the train. Can y'all hear that? This is what I live with. Buyers supposed to be moving me out my house, but
No.
if on prop stream you can put it down to cash buyers and you can put like a window, people who have bought at this zip code within this time who only paid cash, you can find them and then maybe use True People search, or skip trace they stuff because
Google them,
yeah,
Facebook
Google
them, IG them. I just did this morning. I had we got a property that the VA that Laura was working on getting down the contract. So somebody was flipping a property, bought it at about the same amount that would work for us. I Googled them, I found them, I Facebooked them, I called the agent that had that property listed for him, and I told the agent, I was like, "Hey, I got a property that I'm working on getting, not too far from where you guys are flipping." And I told her that, "Hey, would your investor be interested in more properties in the area?" And she was like, "Yeah, I'm always looking for properties. You could just text the property over and the details over to me, and I'll go check it out for my buyer." And I was like, "Okay." So we get them under contract. I definitely send it to them, see if they be interested. They bought that last property at 265, so I'll probably send it to them maybe at 270, 275.
yeah.
They're selling the property at 350, so they bought it at 265 and selling it at 350. Right. Well, they put like maybe 30K into it, maybe.
There's one more cheap solution. I mean, for the walkers, it depends on what kind of city you're in, but a lot of cities have like little like in my city, they everybody goes to Hardee's like in the morning. Like old people go to
What?
Hardee's in the morning and they just eat in Hardee's. They don't have nothing else to do. But a lot of those people who be going to like certain places have money. Like either they're retired, they have money, they they don't have a job. They just going and just gonna sit there and eat there. They have nothing to do. But they are all talking about business and stuff. If you can find out those places and kind of get into those circles, like, hey, I can offer you guys this or that. Do y'all need any properties? Like I used to live in Hampton, and down in Virginia Beach there was this restaurant, and these people were like they had their own table, like it's like the mafia or something. But and they would be sitting there talking about businesses. I know if I had a deal, if I would have went up to them to their table and been like, hey, I know you guys are like into business and stuff, you know, I have properties. I have this, I have this property over here in Virginia Beach, or in Hampton. Would you maybe want to? I'm sure they would want to look at it.
Yeah.
Like, but that's a freeway. I mean, you got to be able to walk up to some people. It's free, but every city has a place where these people just go and they have no job. They just sitting around talking.
Yeah.
Um, but you have to ask somebody, where do they go in your city? Here they go.
Gotta talk to people.
You got to talk to people.
Gotta figure out what
Um,
the people with the money at.
but that's the free walking version. But prop stream, you can look at cash buyers and
Yeah, prop screen. You can sit in the comfort of your home and look at the cash buyers. Thad style. He like that kind of stuff. But A says, at what point did you guys bring on VAs? So I know after my first deal, bam, I started bringing on VAs after my
smart.
first deal. But I
Yeah.
was super cheap. Like, dude, I'm super cheap. I'm skeptical. I'm everything that the most skeptical person that watches videos on wholesaling is. Right? So I brought on a VA, only paid them $2 an hour, and they only work 15 hours a week. That's crazy, man. But that's what I did. And for the most part, it worked. I was able to do one deal here, one deal there, about 2 deals a month. But that was mainly because I was also on the grind with them. I was on the ground with them. But that's when I brought in VAs.
Yeah, as soon as I started wholesaling with Byron, we were already, he already had a VA, and I said I never wholesaled without one because he had one as soon as I showed up.
Yeah.
She quit, but we hired two more.
Yeah, I had 2 more, and I think a little bit after that is when Laura came in, man. Laura's
No,
been,
those were the two more. Laura and the other girl. And the other girl
yeah,
quit because she wouldn't
I forgot
show
who
up.
the other girl was.
She wouldn't show up to the Saturday meetings.
Oh yeah, see, hey, what did
By
I tell you? What did I tell you? The people who showed up to those meetings were the most loyal, right? The people who showed up to non-paid meetings were the most loyal. And Laura
Byron
showed
made up
up
a
every time.
non-paid meeting. You had to go to a meeting on a Saturday and not get paid. And the girl wouldn't show up, and she quit.
What that
But
song say?
God,
These ain't loyal. They ain't loyal, man. Now, Laura showed up to the meeting,
she
and
showed
what
up.
is she proven to be?
She never
Loyal.
missed. She never missed a meeting.
Never missed. And she hadn't missed since.
No,
Loyal to the bone. It's like Laura gonna be 50 years old, still working for us.
I hope not. I hope she'll have
What do you
something by
mean?
then.
We gotta treat her good.
Yeah, but hopefully, she might want to be a boss, so she might want to,
I mean,
be
I've
president,
already tried to make Laura a boss. I've
president
already
of the
said, hey, Laura,
Philippines.
here's how you can be a boss.
You know,
Just be a
hopefully
boss.
she'll at least be retired. Like
That mean you mean that you ain't already set up Laura retirement through the company's funds?
but that's for fun, man. Yeah, that's when he's a fun. But
Hey,
yeah,
that
I
would be
mean,
pretty cool though. We could set up like a retirement for Laura.
I tried to the other day. I tried to get her to become an agent. That's another story.
Oh, don't even start
That's
that,
stuff
man.
for another
On
time.
to the next question, man. A says, I'm getting my LLC set up right now, trying to be professional for when I lock deals up, doing everything in my business name. That's what's up, man. Yeah,
Try to get a
having
website
that
too.
business name and trying to look professional goes a long way for sure. Mark says, yeah, I had a stroke, so I haven't been working. Oh, shoot. Yeah. God dang. That'll cause some problems, man. I hope you start feeling better. So what advice can you give when submitting a deal? Submitting a deal to a buyer?
Nice. Like the contract.
Like submitting a deal to the seller or a buyer? Let's go both. Let's say, what advice can you give for submitting a deal? Well, first advice I would give to you and anybody who might be watching this is after you send it to the seller, check with the seller and see if they received it. Like you know, you know, that's the first thing I would do after sending it to the seller. Check and see if they received it. Make them confirm that they received it. After they confirm they received it, ask them, hey, if you're not already on the phone with them, try to get on the phone with them first to just explain the whole process and everything like that before you even get started with all that. But after you send it, say you ain't on the phone with them, ask them, hey, look, is there anything within this agreement that's stopping us from moving forward? And then now it's like, okay, hey, what's stopping you from signing? You know what I'm saying? I need to know. It's something that's stopping you from signing. It's like I need to know. So, what you got, Pat?
No, you said it perfectly. The only thing I laughed a little bit because I thought about Tracy.
Whoa, yeah.
When we had that thing in that clause, and he was like, maybe they forgot. I'm like, no, they didn't forget.
Oh, Tracy, they didn't forget.
That's it. That's why I was laughing. It was Seller Burn had a long
Oh
time ago.
man, that's funny.
But yeah.
Well, Mark
But
says,
you didn't talk about the buyer. You didn't talk about sending it to the buyer though.
Flipper's great idea. Yeah, no doubt. And Michelle said yes. Oh yeah, to the buyers. So what tips do you have on submitting to buyers, that?
Know your buyers. Some of them like it in different formats. Some of them you got to put it on an Excel spreadsheet. Some of them want you to text them. Sometimes they want you to call them. Just know what they want. If they want it, like this, give it to them like this. Um, some try not to. Some buyers don't get have so many wholesalers calling them all the time about deals and stuff. So try to at least make sure it is at least a deal. Because if you send them a lot of like trash or something, they're gonna be like, oh, this is such and such text. They might not read it. But if they know you sending them like hot fire every time they open their phone, they're gonna be like, oh man, what did he send me today? You know,
Yeah.
you know, like like my one buyer down in that city in South Georgia, like I can pretty much get him on the phone and like, like I think it's because I gave him so many deals. Like, you
Yeah.
know, uh, anything. I ask him about anything.
Yeah.
But then other people, if I'm sending them trash, they don't have time to, speak to me. Oh, I'm busy. I'll call you tomorrow. I'll
Yeah.
call you
You
tomorrow.
about that. It's like if you got um if you got buyers um that you sent a lot of good deals to, shoot, you can call them up at any time
Yeah.
and do it.
Yeah.
Like I've called up buyers where it's like, shoot, I can like they've been on vacation, they've been driving there at their kids' baseball games, they're out of the country, they in Italy,
They
you
said,
know,
oh, it's Byron.
they in Vietnam, oh man, pick up the phone. It's like, but I don't call them all the time. I don't use their phone number all the time. So they also know when I call, it's like I'm calling about something serious. I'm calling about something. It's something going down. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I need you. I don't just call you for nothing. I'll
Yeah.
send you an email, I'll shoot you a text maybe, but if I call you, pick up your phone because this guy don't call me like that. And I'm always doing business, so I always got properties, so they know that hey, this is business. Something is about to happen. Thad called that buyer in South Georgia. He knows that Thad must be calling about some kind of business. Like he ain't just calling me to say, hey, what you ate for breakfast this morning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He's calling about we finna close on the property. We finna make some money.
Yeah.
So yeah,
True.
no doubt, man, no doubt. But we've been on here for an hour and about 20 minutes. Still got 8 people rocking with us, man. So Make sure you like the video. Make sure you share the video. All that other good stuff. If y'all like, what we're doing today, comment below, man. Comment below. Let us know what you think. What you want us to do. And I think we're adding a lot of value here, Thad.
Hopefully, hopefully they like.
Hopefully. But anyway, so what should I offer them if they're asking for 250 grand and needs 40 grand of work? Now that the market has shifted, depends on the ARV.
Yeah, what's the
If the ARV is 500,000, that's different. If the ARV is 200,000, you know what I'm saying? And so it depends on that property's. I would just say Zillow. I don't even go straight to ARV. Just look it up on Zillow and say, okay, if that property's estimate is 400,000, just base it off that. And my thing is, like, do you have buyers? If you don't have buyers, that may be your number one problem, because you could just shoot that at. Like, I had an address this morning. I just shot it to a buyer, and they just told me, "Oh, this number." Bam. I ain't got to worry about none of that other stuff. I ain't got to know that it needs 40K worth of work. It's like the buyer already do business in the area. They know how much work they have to put in the property. So, that's the beauty of having. But it take all that, all this stuff. People want to make it seem like it's so big time. Oh, I'm the king of ARV, and I'm the king of, figuring out what to offer to sell. It's like, dude, all that stuff really can get knocked out of the window, and all this could be simplified if you just get the buyer, send them the property, they give you the offer, you present it to the seller, and now we're off to the races. It's like, all that other stuff and having to be a super guru, super expert on, exactly what to do, exactly what to say, smooth and all that stuff ain't necessary all the time, man. You can do it without all that. So, just saying, man. We got two regular jokers who ain't nothing special about us, except Thad is military guy, that's special. Bremen educated, that's special. So, he got 2 check marks on the special category.
Mine always with the games, always with the games.
So Anita said, enjoyed the Wholesale show today. I'm glad I caught a little bit of it before heading back to work. You guys dropped some great knowledge. Appreciate you coming through, Anita. Always appreciate it.
Byron, aren't you the last of like 13 kids? That's special.
I don't know how special that is.
That is real special.
I mean, you're a bottom feeder. You eating crumbs, the last crumbs.
Make it strong. Make it strong.
Well, dude, I'll be the last crumbs, dude.
Make it strong. Make it strong.
Yeah, man. So, which market is the best? Which should I stay away from, Thad? I'll let you get that one.
I'd stay away from Texas.
Before you go to Texas, go open you up a pizza joint, in your local town, and see how you can do with that first.
Go to Las Vegas. So there's a couple states that are non-disclosure states. Non-disclosure states are states that you can't look on Zillow and see how much someone bought a house for. You can't look on PropStream and see it. You would have to contact an agent to get like the comps to actually see what a house is even like, what houses are selling for. So that's just an extra hurdle that you're gonna have to deal with. So there's a lot of other states out here that are not non-disclosure. So I would first off not go to a non-disclosure state like Texas. Second off, what market is the best? There might be things in the news that you might see, like say they're building a new factory in a certain place and the housing market, people like there's going to be a lot of new jobs or something. There's a lot of opportunities for like the investors are going to be wanting to buy in that area, and they're going to need deals, and so maybe they'll maybe that might be good. But a lot of the markets, it just depends. Other than stuff like that, I would say that it just depends on how you're rolling. My first deal was in a small city. I think it was like, how many people live down there? Like
12,000.
20,000 people.
Yeah, 20,000.
Maybe 20,000.
But how did you know to go that?
Well, Byron had said that. I had a buyer who lived in another city, And he said,
Byron said that
I had a
a
buyer.
bird, not me, not me. It's a bird. A bird told that talk to your buyer, the one that you know, and ask him
Yeah.
what.
Where is he buying? That's the best city. So that's the best city. But other than that, maybe if they're building something and you know it, and you know it's going to be done, you could find some buyers there, and probably make bank.
Find people who got money that spend money on real estate. Ask them, where do you want to spend your money on real estate? That's where you should be looking. First, you got to find people with the money. That's the first. It doesn't matter where you at. Like that, it doesn't matter where you at. Like if somebody would told that, hey, this is where you're gonna get your first deal. Would you believe in that? You could have gave
Mm.
that maybe a zillion guesses of where you're gonna get your first deal. He wouldn't have said where he got his first deal.
Yeah.
Have you ever been down there
Mm,
in your life?
I
Have
have
you ever
I've been there. I've been there one time for graduation. I've been there one time. But other than
one
that, I had only been there one time my whole entire life. It was 5 hours away from my house. 4 hours. 4 hours away from my house.
Never would
But
have thought it. He was
and
doing everything else. He was looking at properties all over the place, everywhere else, looking at properties, and he had properties. Like he had properties. He had sellers who wanted to sell, and no deal,
no
no
deal.
deal.
No deal.
He went and asked the buyer, "Where do you buy?" Went and looked in that market, and then how long did that take between that and getting the deal? How long did it take that?
Uh, 2 or 3 months. I mean, I found the deal in like 2 months, maybe a month and a half, but it didn't close till like like 2 months after that. But I found the deal maybe like a month and a half.
It's a miracle, man. Talk to people with money. Where do you want to spend your money?
But there's a small asterisk. The person who was the buyer for that, the person who got me to look there, he didn't even buy the house, but
Yeah.
he did put me on the way. But like Byron says, and a lot of wholesalers will tell you, if you have a really good deal, then you'll probably find a bunch of buyers. And that's I found a bunch of buyers because the deal was so good that it was easy to call agents and like,
But
hey, I got this.
my thing is, why was that a good deal there? Because it's like people are actively buying. How did you know that people was buying there? You talked to a
Yeah,
buyer
yeah,
and he
talk to them.
said this place, right?
Yeah.
The buyers are not just, the buyers just not just all so scattered. They know, you know, if one buyer is buying, if you call your buyer up, say, yeah, I'm buying over here. He ain't the only one. It's like, he ain't the only one. You know what I'm saying? He is
Yeah.
not the only one. So, that buyer was interested. And then what did you do to find your other buyer, Thad?
Um.
Your actual buyer.
Well, the actual buyer, I was calling the agents, telling them about the
All
deal,
in agents.
and I spoke to a broker. So a broker is like a boss of real estate agents, and they have a bunch of agents that work underneath them. So technically, if you could call a broker and say, "Hey, do you know any agents that are that do this kind of stuff or want to work with people?" That would probably be the fastest way, but they are also more of the busier people. But if you could get a broker, they're gonna have like 10 or 15 people on their team, and they could tell all 10 or 15 people for you. If you can get in good with a broker, it's just a little bit more difficult. But I called a broker. He said I don't have the time to do this deal, but I have somebody who works for me who would love to probably you should talk to him, talk to his guy, and he bought the property.
And how much have you made off that one connection, that one call that you made one day to connect with this one person?
I don't know, maybe
How much
like
money has that made you?
maybe like 60, 70, I don't know, maybe 60, $70,000 or something. I don't know. Something over one call, maybe probably like $60,000. 60, 70.
Oh my God. Dude, I'm telling you, you got to connect with people with money. It's like, you know,
Yeah.
just got to, man. I'm telling you, like that is the way to go. It's like Dad was connected with all these sellers in it with no money. He connected with
Oh,
a buyer. Now he's made money off this person over time. He's making money off and still making money off this person. Still
still
making
making.
money off this person. Still making money off this person. You know, so,
I keep them fed. That's why I said I hadn't been keeping them fed.
and you keeping him fed, he keeping you fed. It's
Yeah.
like, you know what I'm saying?
He bought
So,
two for me in October.
I'm telling you, man, you just got to talk to buyers, man. You got to talk to agents. Agents connect you with buyers. You can get connected with them. Next thing you know, you get money. So, it's crazy, Dad, to tell these people, because there's so much stuff out there to tell you. Hey, drive around, find these houses. You got to find a seller, find a seller, find it. Everybody's so focused on finding a seller that they see they're connected with buyers that's right there. Talking to agents that's right there. They got the money in their pocket. It's like, you
Yeah.
know, your life changed when you talk to the right buyers. That's when the life changes. One
Yeah.
seller, maybe one deal you get 100 grand, right? Which probably, maybe one
Maybe.
seller, maybe, but you meet one good buyer, that's probably 100 grand. you,
Yeah.
you can get close to that 100 grand off one good buyer, and you still will continue to make money off them. You will keep making money off them, right? And then you build a relationship to where it's like, okay,
He
let,
sent me other buyers.
yeah, he'll send you other buyers. And let's say if Dad had some kind of other deal going on where let's say Dad wanted to flip a property or Dad wanted to do something like that. I guarantee you that buyer that he worked with wouldn't mind helping him figure whatever he needed to out. You know,
Yeah.
Dad wanted to do something else in real estate. Now he got somebody who got money, who got some type of connections. That person will be willing to help him figure it out. Um, at least to some extent, at least help connect him with people that can help him get stuff done.
Right.
So, and that's what I've seen too. Like my buyers have helped me in a lot of different ways. They got money, right? And money solve a lot of your problems just in general. You know what I'm saying? And like, how many deals have you had that where it's like it probably would have been no deal if it wasn't for you bringing it to him? Because it's like, okay, he just turned that into a deal because you brought it to him. And he's like, okay, let's make this a deal.
I had a seller. He wouldn't even let them inspect the property, and I was like, ooh, he won't. He made them buy it, sight unseen.
Yeah.
And I was like, you want to buy it? Yeah, I bought it. Hey, I was thinking maybe he wasn't gonna buy it sight unseen. But there's been times where I had to ask him whatever, but pretty much any anything that it needs to be done to make it a deal, he'll probably do it.
I'm saying they'll work harder to make it a deal than not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he'll
Like
he'll
I've had
he'll
a
work
buyer
hard.
that's like, it was no deal, but I'm like, hey, you know, let's work with them. Let's see what we can do. Let's go over the numbers. Maybe it is a deal. Let's talk to this seller, and it just worked out where they was able to do stuff and we turned it into a deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he'll do that.
It's like they're more willing to work to make it a deal. So when you're working with buyers, right? So I just think it's so important to work with buyers, man. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong with that. Maybe I'm wrong. What you think
I agree with everything you said. I will say though that one buyer, because I was talking to him sometimes, and he's like, you don't know how many wholesalers call me, and they don't have a deal. He, just I'm only talking about that one buyer. He says that if you call him, he wants you to have something, I guess
that?
because he's getting so many calls or something. I had that Mr. Lundy when I talked to his boss, and then his boss transferred him. But I do feel you because I've talked to buyers before before I had anything, and then I just asked him. That's what happened. That's the first, but he didn't buy the house. But yeah, so I agree. But that is what he said. He said if you had something for me, I'd be more willing to talk to you. But
And you know, sometimes like just come to them with something. Just come to them with something. I mean, it ain't have to be like, it doesn't really have to be a home run, you know. And a lot of times, I may not even tell them the exact numbers on it. I just ask them, hey, how much would you pay for this? You know, it's probably they might be interested. Ask them how much they pay for it, and then I tell them, hey, I'm gonna go try to make this work with the seller. You see what I'm saying? So
yeah,
it's like,
I do that
you
too.
know, I may not even tell them, oh, I got it at a super low price, you know, whatever. You know, I just tell them, hey, they're looking to sell, you know, they're motivated. I'm going to see what I can, you know, see if I can make it work for you. You know, bam, you're
Yeah,
working for them, right? You're
yeah.
bringing service, you're bringing value, you know. So, but
Yeah.
anyways, we're finna get off here, man. We've been on here an hour and 35 minutes. Dad has extended my live for 35 minutes. I usually don't go beyond an hour.
He's so
We
passionate.
got
He's so
12 people in
passionate.
there holding on strong, baby. Y'all go ahead and like the video and all that other good stuff. If you want to go check that out, what can they find you at, Dad?
I mean, wholesale TV, soon to be real estate wholesale TV. I gotta take the advice of my betters, but yeah, you can find me over there. I should be dropping something this week. I think I was asked to make a video about how to find iBuyers, so I might make one about that this week too. But yeah, you can find me there at wholesale TV, but you might be able to find me here. So,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, man. So y'all comment below if you got any questions. But other than that, man, we out of here.
all right.